Here we are, guys, the CEN Racing Rally 1 car and the tried and true HPI WR8. If I'm sounding like a fanboy of the HPI WR8, I am. I love this rally. This to me is the best rally car you can find. That's an RTR. This rally car, I can tell you, I've suggested this to everybody ever since I've owned one. This is not my first WR8. I also owned the very first Ken Block WR8 when that was dropped. So I've had these for quite some time. I had it when they first were released by HPI, and I've never turned back. But it's going to be very hard to knock off the King to me, and we got to see how this is going to perform, but I like what I'm seeing out of the box. And I'm going to take the two shells off so you guys can see how they are set up. But size-wise, and we're looking at these two rally cars, if you count the wing on the rear of the CEN Racing, it's probably about the same length with the body on. If you do not count the wing, it does come up slightly shorter in length. As for the width, the CEN Racing Rally is just a hair bit wider. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to pick that up on the camera. I'll try to bring you in a little bit closer. But you guys can see from the front and also on the rear, it is a wider vehicle than the WR8. That's going to help with the track width. That track width is really going to help. We'll see how the rollovers happen with it, but I'm going to have to see. I'm impressed. I didn't know that it would be a wider vehicle than the WR8. Let's get these bodies off so you guys can see. I know someone's going to ask me how do the bodies interchange. Let's see how that looks really quick too for you guys. They fit. I'm going to give you a side angle of the two so you guys can see what the wheelbases look like with these bodies interchanged. So this is the CEN Racing. This is the WR8. The wheelbase, as I said to you guys, the wheelbase is spot on. The only thing I would suggest is you're going to have to remount the holes differently for the two because the rear body mounts are up here on the CEN Racing and then way up in the front on there. So you would have to remount new holes for it if you're trying to swap the bodies over, but that's what it looks like. And that's the WR8 with the CEN Racing body. Once again, it fits perfectly. It's only raised up a little bit because of the body post on the WR8, but that's what it looks like, guys. Disregard these wheels. If you guys want to know what I did to get these wheels, I have a separate video. I'm not going to discuss that on this video. I have a separate video of what I did to get these on. But yeah, everything else, it looks the same. Let's get the two bodies side by side and let's go through some of the size and some of the comparisons that I can see off the bat. Just going through the two cars, you can see the wheelbase is spot on. I am matching up the wheels. Both of these vehicles, they both run 12mm hexes. They're both composite hexes on there. So the wheels are going to be interchangeable too, from what I can see. As I go through the two rally cars, both RCs have composite shocks, but the CEN Racing has big bore screw down adjustable shocks versus the WR8 has the spacers that you would fit in. Both have aluminum shock towers and they're both about 3mm thick. The suspension setup on the WR8 is going to be a little bit stiffer because it has sway bars in the front and also in the rear. Looking at the driveline on the WR8, it has a center differential. So it has a sealed front, center, and rear differential, whereas the CEN Racing only has a front and rear sealed differential. The center is actually a spool. Both are using Hobby Wings electronics, except for the HPI one is rebranded. Both have a metal chassis. Even though the WR8's chassis braces are composite, that does have chassis braces on it versus the CEN Racing. Camber adjustments on the WR8 are non-adjustable. Everything is fixed. CEN Racing, all adjustable camber and toe in the front and camber in the rear. WR8 has a kick up on the chassis in the front, but nothing in the rear. And as I mentioned before with the CEN Racing, there is a kick up in the front and also in the rear of the chassis as a departure angle. Funny enough, they're both running T-plugs on them from the ESC. Weight-wise, All right. Yeah. WR8 is going to feel a little heavier. I am running the beadlocks on here, so that may also add a little bit to the weight of it. But it does feel, yeah, it's definitely heavier than the CEN Racing's rally car. Off the bat, guys, these look amazing. As I mentioned, this is my favorite rally car, the WR8. And I'm going to see how this comes up. But I'm glad to see that someone else has released an 8th scale rally car. Let's bring out my 10th scale rally and compare it. The LC Racing rally car, this thing looks so scale, but it is smaller, guys. This is a true 1/10 scale rally car. I'm not going to take the body off. It's filthy after the last run, but I just wanted to bring this out to you guys so you can see what a 1/10 scale rally car would look up against a 1/8 scale. And I'm hoping you guys can see the difference, but it's clear that it is a larger RC than a 10th scale. And then lastly, guys, I know most of you are going to ask me about a Traxxas Rally and how does the size comparisons with a Traxxas Rally. Traxxas Rally is a large rally car. It's based off of a slash chassis, which in itself is going to be larger than most of these 8 scale rally cars. So in itself is going to be a large vehicle, guys. So that's what we're seeing here. We can clearly see that the Traxxas Rally is a bigger RC. But if you're trying to keep true to scale, this is about what we're looking at when it comes to 8 scale rally cars. They're about this size. The width is wider, the wheelbase is longer, the overall length is longer on the Traxxas. Everything size-wise is going to be just longer and wider on the dimensions for the Traxxas Rally. But I know folks were going to ask me about it, so I figured I'd bring it out. So there we are, guys. We did a size comparisons between the CEN Racing Rally and HPI WR8, the LC Racing Rally car, and the Traxxas Rally car. So 3 options to look at in regards to size and the variations of size between all of them. A nice chassis comparisons between the CEN Racing and the HPI WR8. But we're going to leave it here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok for the latest updates to the channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again, guys.